welcome back to the show. And that show is the Backport Sports Podcast with your man Fonz
and Quan.
Well, did y'all miss us? We were gone for a minute. Yeah. Welcome back to the show. You know, as always, you know, if our content is valuable to you, or if you just enjoy the content, how about hit a like and a subscribe? That way it'll push us up so more people can watch the show. And with that, we can go ahead and jump into the topic real quickly. So the draft has come and gone. It was not surprising at all. If you watch our mock draft video, it wasn't surprising at all. But I don't know. All right, I'm gonna go and get mine out the way. I'm looking at the Atlanta Falcons, right? You went ahead and gave Kirk Cousins the bag, $140 million deal, 4 years, $140 million. And then you draft Michael Penix Jr. I get it. Kirk Cousins is 36 years old, but you just gave him $140 million. Now I don't know everything that contract entails, but I did not like that look from Atlanta. Period. But you can feel free to take that one away, man, because I don't know about Atlanta on that one. They ain't the dirty boys.
Yeah. It was questionable. I don't know why they would draft a rookie quarterback after doing something like that. It didn't make sense, but it made sense because maybe they're preparing for if old Kirk Cousins can't finish the season, if he gets hurt or something happens where maybe they don't like his gameplay, even though they'll still be out of that money that they gave him. But I guess they're preparing more for the future, even though he'll be sitting for more than a year or two. Which isn't typical for any team. I do feel like it was a bad pick though. Not the player personally, but just being that you did do that and there's other areas that you can improve on that football team. Very shocking that they did that, but I guess the logistics of it is planning for the future and not the present, which, you know, it was going to be 2 or 3 more drafts by the time Kirk Cousins' contract was going to be finalized.
Right.
So I do not know their provision or vision on that pick, but
yeah, that was a head scratcher for sure.
Yeah, we should see what happens.
And
everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason.
It must be jinxing Kirk Cousins. He might croak and get injured and whatever. I mean, not wishing that on him, but I mean, they got to make this pick make sense, especially in the first round with all the offensive line talent that was in this draft this year. They didn't look into that first round. They went straight for a quarterback, and I'm just like, okay, they could have, went in free agency and got a backup quarterback for Kirk. I mean, it was a lot of different options that I think they could have took, but nevertheless, I know nothing. I don't get paid to make those decisions. So.
Yeah, me neither. It's well above my pay grade. But, I look at it kind of like you do. I didn't get it, but it's like, okay, you got Kirk Cousins who's coming off an Achilles injury. And on top of that, factor in his age. So when this deal is done, he'll be 40 if he plays through the entire deal.
If he plays too.
Yeah. So
not too many people do that.
I get the science behind it, but at the time, it was like a head scratcher. I ain't even gonna front.
Because honestly, I think he could have went there and started. Honestly, pretty much. I mean,
yeah. I don't know. I mean, if old man Aaron Rodgers can be back, the way modern medicine is now, but it is what it is. I actually liked what the Bills did. They went ahead and drafted Keon Coleman in the second round at number 33, but they passed on the Donnie Mitchell. If I'm putting Xavier Worthy, they passed on him, which is wild. And they allowed Kansas City to get him. So I feel like they they got the man that they wanted, but there were other options out there that the Bills, especially with trading off Stephon Diggs, I think that they should have did more due diligence in their wide receiver room.
Yeah. It's up for one thing that, I mean, honestly, it's going to take a village to replace such a heavy productive Stephon Diggs. Only when he doesn't drop wide open passes. But
ding 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 ding.
Honestly, no matter how you foresee it, they was going to have to go into the drafting somebody. They did pass up on a lot of good receivers. They let Kansas City get one of the fastest receivers, which the NFL will pay for that.
Of course. Go ahead and make your bets now. For the Super Bowl winner. $10 on Kansas City Chiefs. You could walk out at least with 50 grand. I promise you.
But yeah, they did right by Josh Allen by giving him some type of weapon to, I guess, substitute for Stephon Diggs, even though I don't think he will. He's a good receiver nevertheless. Young guy. Hopefully they'll be able to build some chemistry. But once again, I think my story this season for the Bills is that they won't make the playoffs. And that's my early prediction on that part. But
oh boy.
Nevertheless.
I can't wait for that show.
Yeah. Nevertheless, man, big ups to them for at least giving Josh Allen some type of talent at the wide receiver position.
Yeah.
That's more important than anything, especially when you give up arguably the top 7 receiver in the league. I'll give him top 7. Yeah. Maybe.
Top 15.
I don't know, man. At least I can't go further than 10, Fonz. I don't know.
I might give him 12. I give you 12. Because there's a lot up there. But it's a lot he got to go with.
Either way, he's between number 1 and 15, somewhere around there.
I'll take that.
Which is good. Either way you look at it, you get 1 through 15 top receiver in the league. That's kind of good.
That's good. I mean, hey.
That's definitely intrigued though how he does. I don't think. Well, yes, I do. He has played with rookie receivers before. That is kind of up to par, but I'm gonna be intrigued to see what he does with this weapon here.
Yeah, since they pretty much started from scratch up in Buffalo, I too am anxious to see how they're going to handle that. Okay, so the next team up is the Carolina Panthers. This is the team I am highly disappointed in. There's another team out there too, but this Carolina Panther squad, I am highly disappointed in that particular squad because you got a young quarterback in Bryce Young, young guy. Now towards the tail end of last season, we saw glimpses, we saw flashes, but you got to be able to overcome the ineptitude of your organization.
Right,
and they traded back into the first round and chose Xavier Leggett at number 32. He was a redshirt senior at South Carolina, which is near Charlotte. I think South Carolina is in Columbia, if I'm not mistaken. Shout out to them guys. And he was primarily a special teamer during his first 4 seasons with the Gamecocks. Pause. Then they traded up in the second round to take the first running back from the board, which is Jonathan Brooks at number 46. I get it. You got 2 positions of need. But if you can do all that moving and shaking, at least get somebody who is going to assist your young quarterback. Because they finished 2-14 last year. My bold prediction: they'll win 4 games. They'll improve by 2 games.
Man, listen, when
that's
they
coming out the NFC South.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
That's
but
tough.
I don't understand, man.
Not to cut you off. Not to mention the running back that they drafted is coming off an ACL tear.
You're right. So they didn't do him any justice. So honestly, man, I'm from Carolina, but I don't rep Carolina at all. I pay my taxes here, and that's about it. I hardly drink any Pepsi, anything of that nature. I do like Carolina barbecue. I do like Texas Pete, and I do like
Krispy Kreme.
And I do like Krispy Kreme.
All right. As long as you didn't say cheer wine, we was fine.
Well, nevertheless, man, they got to do better by Bryce Young if they want him to be that franchise quarterback there. No young quarterback can play with nothing. I'm sorry, just can't. It's impossible to do so. And the Carolina Panthers have failed at doing that, and they had the picks to make this a way better season than last year, possibly. And they didn't do that, and I don't see them being successful. Poor Bryce Young, man. That place has been cursed since the Super Bowl of Mary J. Blige throwing grown men around like ragdoll Cam Newton. And
don't do Cam like that. Come on.
I can't help myself sometimes and get behind this.
I swear that it's like that camera and microphone just.
but man, I feel bad for him, man. Like, you know, the lack of talent there is crazy. I mean, I don't know what's going on with the management side. It's definitely all management. I'm not gonna say all management. Bryce Young could definitely play better in some scenarios, some cases, you know, whatever. But they got to do better by him, man. They got to give him some help over there if they want to be successful. But right now, I don't know that they want to do that. They just want to keep getting high first round picks every year.
I mean, they the NFC Cleveland Browns at this point.
But hey, I was just about to say that. But hey, that caught up to him though. It produced a playoff production and stuff for him.
I told you a long time ago. It was a 5-year plan. That's
so that might be the route they're taking, is, you know, slowly building, and then the next 2-3 years we'll be like, oh, Carolina Panthers is finally in the playoffs, and I'm pretty sure Jesus will crack the skies by then. But nevertheless, I'm sorry, I just said too much.
It's all good, man. Shoot, man. So yeah, Carolina, they're going to improve. I did give them 2 more games. They're going to be the 2 more games team.
Yeah,
in the battle of the bottom feeders.
We shall see. It ain't really said and done until it's in between the white lines. So.
That's it. So Denver, let's talk about Denver for a second. They drafted Bo Nix at number 12, and I mean, let's press pause right there. By pick 12. It was all quarterbacks.
Yep.
Matter of fact, it was all offensive, which is crazy. I mean, everybody. I mean, even Drake May got drafted higher than what I thought he was going to get. But anyway,
he
wound up being the 6th quarterback off of the board, and Denver could have got him later. I think Bo Nix would have fell down in the draft. That's just my opinion. I mean, look at Spencer Rattler. He didn't get off the day too. But
I guess the way it was going, they was like, yeah, let me go ahead and get mine, because like you said, man, it was all offensive players for the first 11 picks.
Yeah,
and a lot of them involve quarterbacks. I don't know whether Bo Nix would drop down to day 2. It'd have been interesting though if they would have held out on that, but I don't know. Somebody might have had.
But see, think about who came after Denver. Think about the teams that came after Denver. Those teams already got a quarterback.
Yeah.
So, hey, but Denver, I mean,
but I like it. I like it.
I like it too. I like it too because that could really go either way. You know, with that pick, it could really go either way. I hope it goes good for him.
I just like, because I watched him a little bit in Oregon. Mm-hmm. And you know, he come from a pass heavy offense or whatever, and I just think that brings back some good memories for the Denver Broncos in the Mile High. You want somebody that's going
to wait a minute now. They ain't gonna get that. Hold on.
No, but I'm just saying, you know, you think about the quarterback that they did acquire, you know, they was pass heavy quarterbacks and could throw the ball. And I like that pick for them. That was a real good pickup.
It's, to me, I have a thing. Just like quarterbacks that come from Alabama. I have a thing about quarterbacks that come from Oregon. The last one that was highly touted was Marcus Mariota. And he came from Oregon. They don't do well in the NFL. They don't. I mean, but like I said, it could go either way. Right. The 49ers, this is one I ain't really think much about. But you can't really fault the 49ers because they picked at number 31. And they picked a wide receiver named Ricky Pearsall out of Florida. To me, I mean, a lot of people had him as a second round pick. And he was outside of the top 10. So we don't know where he was in the top 10. But he's the sixth receiver. He was the number 6 receiver taken off the main draft board.
Wow.
Which, big shout out to the Arizona Cardinals. We'll talk about that shortly. But it's like with the 49ers, I can't say they've gotten better or worse. I still think they're going to contend. I think they're going to possibly, the way the NFC shaping out to be, because the AFC is much stronger. The way the NFC looks, I'm not going to say is an easy cakewalk for them, but I still think they'll win the NFC. That's another bold prediction. But
leaking them today, buddy.
Boy, I'm trying to tell you, they just fly like hotcakes. but see, people in the draft get caught up with names. You know what I'm saying? You can get a quality player that's not top 10. Because everybody knows more often than not, the top 10 pick don't actually work out.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you know, it is what it is with the 49ers, though.
Yeah, not too many comments on the 49ers, honestly. They drafted a receiver. I feel like they kind of do need some help at that position.
Yeah.
It was talks about Brandon Ayuk and everything being traded and yada, yada, yada. So they kind of needed that. It's not too many areas that the 49ers actually need because that defense is still kind of put together. I think they could have maybe tackled the offensive line because offensive lineman this year was pretty good, and honestly we seen the 49ers be nothing without Trent. So I think that was maybe a point of emphasis on that, but I'm not the coach. But nevertheless, like I said, I would have went offensive line myself. It's not too many gaps on that team. Honestly, that team is just legit, just already built, ready for a championship that I don't think they'll get. But not what they got brewing up there. I don't think so, man. It's just too good. It's too much going on. But not too much to say about the Niners.
Yeah. So let's quickly talk about teams that kind of, not gonna say kind of, but seemingly improved. Let's start with the Chicago Bears. Now, if you remember the mock draft episode, I actually had Jaden Daniels going to Chicago because I liked him better in Chicago than I did Washington. But they went ahead and drafted Caleb Williams, which was the unanimous number 1 pick.
I think they was forced to pick him.
They was forced at this point because they had Joe Blow and Joe the Donut playing quarterback. If they didn't. But he said, "I'm Joe Blow, the lover man." So I mean, if you got the number 1 overall pick anyway, it's kind of hard for me to say you did not improve because you improved in some area. And what I respect about Chicago is they added talent around them
already throughout the offseason.
They DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, on top of drafting Rome Odunze, however you pronounce the name. My bad if I butchered the name up. But I mean, Chicago, they trending up.
Better watch out. Well, who in that division? Lions. Ooh,
the Lions right now is the team to beat in the NFC North. So and don't forget about the old Packers, boy. I'm trying to tell you. Oh, the Packers. I'm gonna tell you. So even though we kind of question Jordan Love, I still think the Packers can contend.
But that's gonna be it's gonna be a good competitive year for that division.
It is. That's gonna be something to watch. The Philadelphia Eagles next, man. They had some upgrades to their scenario. This is the pick that I wanted Baltimore to get. I wanted them to pick Cooper DeJean out of Iowa, simply because he pretty. No, I ain't gonna say that. I don't want to get canceled by the other people, but I mean, just looking at his tape from Iowa, yeah, he wasn't hopping across the screen, but dude can cover.
Mm-hmm.
Dude can cover. That he, to me, he was a Raven pick. You know, that's gonna be the first one since that on Jason Sehorn in the same division. So big shout out to them. I mean, they really, the Eagles did. They really kind of patched up that secondary a little bit. So I'm impressed by that.
You're right.
And I can't even believe I'm saying this, but the Pittsburgh Steelers, they they did some work in the draft. I had to go for it. I was impressed by what the Steelers did. They really put a lot of emphasis on the offensive line.
Good.
Something that's been lacking for the past 5-6 years. If that offensive line gels the way it's supposed to gel, on top of that defense, still AFC, yeah, boy, I hate to say it, but
he ain't nervous this shit. But about there, he about sweating over that boy.
Boy, let me tell you, boy. I hate to say it, but if the Steelers, right now the Steelers look good on paper. If that paper turned out to be $1, boy. But I'm my sleeper pick for y'all though. I be that Peyton Wilson, that linebacker from NC State. To me, he looks like a Steeler, and this is no shade. He looks like a Steeler pick. He had the fastest 40 time of any linebacker in the draft, so he got speed and athleticism. So, yo, I mean that was a really good pick. That was a really good pick in my opinion.
I like the fact, and to echo what you were saying, I really like this new GM. Kevin Colbert, he did awesome. Him and Mike Tomlin had a great tenure, but this guy, this new GM that we have is different. And I knew it was going to be different because when he first got hired as a GM, he went straight for the hole. Like, it wasn't no cut or anything like that. You know what I mean? No, nothing, no play around. You know what I mean? And I just like the fact that he put emphasis on the offensive line because that's an area that we needed help significantly. Sure. And I like the fact that when we did draft one in the first round, we ain't even stopped there. We just kept drafting offensive linemen. And then we got a steal. I feel like that was a steal, kind of the Michigan Roman Wilson. Yeah, great. Gonna be, he a dog at slot. I've seen a little bit of his plays or whatever in Michigan. Dog at slot. The Steelers just have a natural eye for wide receivers, and I feel like he's definitely a Steeler as well. And then to echo your point about the linebacker out of North Carolina State, that was great. I just, I feel good, man. I feel good about it. We got
the Steelers. The Steelers really was cooking in the draft. I can't even front. They was cooking.
If we can get this offensive line to mesh well and play together well with Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren still being the main focus of the offense, like my man said, we got something to prove. And hopefully we'll play. I ain't gonna get too happy about my old team on this podcast right about now. I'm gonna wait, but I definitely feel like we're in a good spot right here, right now. New quarterback, freshly new offensive line, still got our running back, added talent to our linebacker core, wide receiver room throughout the offseason and the draft. Just looking real good. Honestly, I said I was gonna go see a game this year because I just got a good feeling. But I don't know. We're gonna see.
Hey, y'all. I mean, really though, in all honesty,
I got a good
like
feeling.
y'all did what y'all had to do in the draft as far as that offensive line, because y'all really trusted a lot of positions, and then towards the end of the draft, y'all was just picking just to pick. But those picks, I feel, especially that Peyton Wilson guy. Like, y'all got 3 people on your team, last name Wilson. But anyway,
Russell Wilson, Peyton Wilson, and doggone Roman Wilson. Good.
But Yeah, but so I'm gonna watch.
So the media,
I gotta watch.
The media is gonna have to be real specific when they asking about a Wilson because it's 3 of them.
Right. Somebody y'all got for the first time in history. It's gonna be the first name initials on the back of jerseys. Watch this.
Right.
The Chargers, they actually did pretty good too. They got the wide receiver from Notre Dame. And they actually, Joe Alt, they drafted him too, so they kind of worked on that lineman, the line for a minute.
I knew they was gonna do that. Yep.
Because they had to go ahead and deal with the wide receiver position because they let Keenan Allen and Mike Williams go in the offseason, so they had to go ahead and address that quick.
That is crazy. Never in a million years I was gonna let them two walk. Not both of them, maybe one of them.
But I'm gonna tell you straight up though, like this, I ain't gonna hold you. The Chargers is gonna have a rushing attack. I'm telling you straight from here. Y'all bold prediction: the Chargers rushing attack is gonna be top 5. Because I know
they still got Austin Eckler.
And I think they got rid of Eckler too. I think he going too. I think he with the Jets. I want to say, but. They got Jim Harbaugh coming in there. It's pretty much going to be the 49ers, the 2011, 2012 49ers and with the Chargers now. So we'll see.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Those teams were tough, man. Those teams were tough. They just couldn't get over the hump for some reason, but that's neither here nor there. No. And finally, the team that I, in my takeaways from that team, I really think that they're moving in step in the right direction. And that is the Washington Commanders, believe it or not. They had the number 2 pick. They went ahead and got Jaden Daniels. And every other pick, they was just knocking them out the park. They got Johnny Newton, one of the best slot corners in the draft, and Mike Sands. I don't know how to say his last name, but his name Mike. And they had 6 picks in the first 3 rounds. I mean... And they started to rebuild their defense, which is good. I will give them a couple of more years. I'll give them a couple of more years, maybe about 2 to 3 years. But definitely the Commanders are really trending in the right direction. I got to give it to them on that. But one of my biggest shocks, though, I ain't gonna say it's a shock. I think the person that got drafted was more shocked than anything, and that's Marvin Harrison Jr.
I told you he was going to Arizona.
You called it. You called it. I swear you did. But if you looked at the video, it seemed like he wanted to be in Arizona.
Yeah, he was a little upset about that. I ain't going to hold you.
His face was he won't hold his mouth right.
Al Green said, "Don't look so sad."
No, he didn't with the Al Green.
I know it's over.
I mean, I respect. I mean, he got a good pedigree behind his name. He got a good pedigree because his daddy a Hall of Famer. But even Jesus H. Christ can save the Arizona Cardinals right now because the way it's looking, they going back to what they used to be a long time ago, and that's the bottom feeder.
Got to. Yeah, too bad for him, man. But hey, you gotta play with the cards you dealt, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, big ups to the Cardinals for going to making that pick, though.
You gotta play it, boy.
Yes, I tell you, those many legendary spades hands I done had, and then I had some that was just butt cheeks, man.
Phone numbers and digits.
I'm trying to tell you, zip code. That's why you call them zip codes.
Zip code.
But shoot, as long as you get bored, that's all that matters.
Just get 4 books. Is what I'm trying to tell you, boy.
Yes, look, I done read folk for the table. They got read for the table myself. It don't even matter. But I took my lumps, bro.
Right.
Took my lumps. But good show, man. Like the draft. Like I said, the draft was all in all. I give the draft overall. I give it like a B+ as far as watchability, because after maybe pick 20, I went to sleep.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. After the first 2 rounds, though, I don't really. The first round is always exciting, of course. It's the first round. I mean, it's a lot of hype on the first day of the draft, and then The second day is interesting, and then after that, it's just like, okay. Y'all just keep right on picking here.
Just go ahead and grab them.
Yeah,
come on in, pick them.
And honestly, I ain't gonna hold you. I become real biased when the draft comes. I can care about any other 31 teams. I'm focused on who my team drafting because
I'm focused on pick number 30.
I mean, I care about all the rest of them, but I really truly care about what my team is going to do in the draft.
Right.
The other teams, I mean, hey. You get a good draft pick, congratulations. But
we see you in September.
We see you in September. That's how I feel, But yeah.
But let us know in the comments what y'all think, man. What teams do you feel like kind of fumbled the bag, so to speak, or teams that kind of, started trending in the right direction? We'd love to hear your comments. And, well, not hear them because you ain't gonna physically say it, but we really love it. We'll talk to you about it. We'll chop it up. As always, man, check us out on Facebook, and you should see it up in the top right-hand corner. That's the Bad Boy Sports Podcast War Room, where we're always chopping it up. We always, like today, I got to shout out Corey, man. We were talking about the Cowboys, how they re-signed Ezekiel Elliott. Why?
They missed what they never had.
They missed what they never had. I think Jerry Jones getting now, but that's a whole nother show. But, that's a whole nother show, man.
They're just desperate at this point, boy.
They're the big facts. I mean, check us out on Facebook, man.
I'm being a Cowboy fan, I tell you.
I'm telling you, man. Like
they gotta be
going through it, and the Cowboys are going all in.
For what? They lose to a 7 seed.
Like barely making it in the playoffs, man.
30 years.
Hating. I'm just stating the obvious.
I hate them. I can't decide. I look for a shooting star every day, boy. I'm trying to tell you.
Look, I look for a shooting star and be cloudy outside. Can't see nothing. I live in town, so you can't even see the stars in town anyway.
You, boy. You can't see a doggone thing, boy.
I'm trying to tell you, man.
I tell you,
got the dimmest star in the sky. Resides in Dallas.
I'm just trying to tell you.
I mean, did you see like when they during the draft, when they panned to their little draft room and it just looked gloomy and sad in there, man?
Yeah, it looked sad and just down. Look like you just fell for 30 years straight and just did nothing since Jerry Jones got there. Just nothing.
I mean, you would think they won a Super Bowl since 1996, but it looked like 30 years of struggle.
Devilish squad to sit there and talk about who you got and what you're doing and all that stuff. And then
they still waiting on Michael Irvin to come back. That's all it is.
I tell you what, stars like cheese.
Oh.
Stars love cheese.
Man, y'all should have been there, man.
Those who get it to get it. And if you know, you know. Ain't that what they say?
We ain't gonna play it. I'm about to say, I ain't gonna say it. If you know, you know. But we gonna go ahead and side on out here, man. Like I said, let us know in the comments about everything, man. If our content is good, and if you like what we're doing, if you appreciate just good old-fashioned sports talk, man, hit that like. Say something.
Right. Ain't that what Drake said? If you like the way you talk, say something. Say something.
You know
good.
What I mean?
Good.
Because at the end of the day, man, we doing this for y'all, man, like for real. So, man, that being said, thank y'all for tuning in and everything. Our day ones, man, we appreciate you guys, man. Anything you want to add, bro?
Not at all, man.
All right, we up out of here, especially today. The getting was good. So this is the Bad Boy Sports Podcast with your man Fonz.
Good man, Quan.
And we out, yo.